Hello, everybody. Okay. Just checking the microphone. Well, it is a really great pleasure to be here. It's my first time at this conference, and I'm representing women and lawyers from Brazil, so that's a great challenge, and I'm so happy to be here. Well, my presentation will focus on give to you an overview about what has been happening in Brazil regarding regulation. So we are now in Brazil in a great moment of a chaotic and big regulation. In all branches, judiciary, executive, and legislative. So the three branches in Brazil right now are in a big challenge to regulate platform work in Brazil. And why it is a big challenge for all the three branches? First of all, because if you imagine in Brazil, you have, following my, it's not going to the next. Can you help me here? First of all, doing a small introduction about the issue, you know that platform work has surged as an issue in the fourth industrial revolution. You all know what gig economy means, right? So I'm not going to use my time explaining the expression gig work. And I think most of you also know the famous classification of Valerio De Stefani, dividing platform work in two types of work, crowd work and work on demand. What I'm going to talk right now in Brazil is about work on demand. We're going to focus on work on demand in platform in Brazil. Well, when we talk about work on demand in Brazil, it's very important to emphasize for all of you that we are talking about 1.5 million people. So that's why studying what has been happening in Brazil is very important for everyone here, for all countries, because we are a big lab, big laboratory, because we have a lot of issues, because from this 1.5 million people, we have 61.2% app drivers or taxi drivers, 20.9% delivery goods, 14.4% motorcycle taxi drivers, and the remainder are delivery goods via other members or other types of transports. And even though we have a lot of digital work in Brazil, we have a strong challenge regarding decent work. Why? Because Fair Work Project had a research analyzing the 6 biggest platform works in Brazil. Just for you to know, we have six big platforms, which are different from here in Europe. So, for example, I've been here to Spain before I came to Geneva. There you have Global, which is a very big platform. In Brazil, we have Uber and 99 for transportation. We have Happy for delivery. We have Uber Eats for food, and we have iFood for food too. And we have Get Ninjas. Get Ninjas is a platform work for all types of services. When you can have domestic service, you can have accountant, plumber, any type of services. So it's a multi-task platform. And this Fair Work project analyzed the decent work, the fair conditions of these 6 platforms. And the conclusion was that in Brazil, just Uber got from 0 to 10, grade 1, 99 and iFood was graded 2, and Get Ninjas, Grab, and Uber Eats didn't score at all. So you can imagine how is platform work nowadays in Brazil. It's something that we Brazilians, when we use this type of work, we feel bad. We really feel bad when we see this type of people working, because of their poor conditions. They don't have a place to drink water, a place to stop, to go to the bathroom. It's really precarious work right now in Brazil. Usually when I order this type of work, I myself feel guilty and I offer them, do you want water? Do you want a glass of water? Do you want to go to the bathroom? And they smile because they know that they don't have this type of rights right now in Brazil. And then what has been going on in the three branches? We're going to start with judiciary branch. Well, in the judiciary branch right now, we have a big challenge because as you can see from the statistics, as the conditions are really bad, what these workers do? They claim labor rights in the legal justice. They go to labor courts because they don't have any other options right now. So our labor courts are full of labor claims. Now I have just a statistic for the Labor Supreme Court. In the Labor Supreme Court, we have 446 cases involving these 6 platforms that I told you right now. And from these 496 cases, we have 342 cases related to recognition of an employment relationship. Because in Brazil, none of them are employees. So they go to labor courts, most of them seeking what? They seek employment conditions, most of them. And from these 342, 177 are cases from Uber. So Uber, for us, is our big platform work. That's so big in Brazil that when we talk about platform work, we use the expression Uberization. Because for us, that's a synonym, it's almost the same as Uber is the biggest one in Brazil right now. So what has been going on? We have a conflict. Some judges of the Labor Supreme Court understood that they are not employees. And some other judges on the other chamber understood that they are employees. So the ministers of the Labor Supreme Court are fighting with each other, big debates, big challenges in Brazil right now, because they don't agree. They don't have come to agreements. And this is bad, because you have different precedents and you have a lot of claims, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It depends on the judge your case is going on. If you're lucky enough to be with the judge number 2, you win. If you are bad luck, you lose. So to avoid this, on June 10th, 2022, the labor ministers of the Labor Supreme Court set a meeting to make a uniform precedent. What I mean, they make this meeting to decide, are they employee or not? Let's make a uniformization of our precedents. But during this meeting with the Labor Supreme Court, the Minister Cláudio Brandão requested the session to be suspended because he wanted to analyze both appeals better. So right now, the session was suspended. So everybody in Brazil, all lawyers are curious. Are the Supreme Court's going to say that they are employees or not? Nobody knows so far. But meanwhile, when we were waiting for this, in this session, some of the labor ministers said that as the issue is so important for Brazil right now, it would be better if they make a session with all the 27 ministers, a full session. So we're waiting what's going to happen, if we're going to have a full session or if Mr. Cláudio Brandão goes back and we have going to finish the first meeting in the Labor Supreme Court. Well, meanwhile, we had some discussion in Brazil regarding jury metrics. What is jury metrics in Brazil? If you do research in our precedents, you will find that Uber wins most of the cases. So, does this mean that in Brazil the precedents are against recognizing an employment status? No, that's because Uber is manipulating the jurisprudence. But how do you manipulate the jurisprudence? We have softwares, as you know, the algorithms. And then, as you can, all law firms can use algorithms to know the understanding of the judge. So if my case gets to the judge Emil, for example, and I know that he has precedents recognizing employment agreements, what Uber does? Makes a settlement. A settlement before the judgment. So when there is a risk for Uber to lose the case, they settle. So if they settle, the precedents are only the cases they win. Okay? So this is what has been going on if you talk about judiciary branch. Let me just now go to the legislation branch. What has been going in the legislative branch? We have now 155 bills in the Brazilian registry, but only one was fully enacted as law. Law 400-297-2002. But this law does not solve the problem of being an employer or not, because it does not talk about the issue of recognizing an employment status. This law was regarding, I'm going to go back to the law, was regarding the COVID-19 and brings just minimum labor rights as insurance in case of accident, financial assistance of 15 days in case of sick leave, information about prevention for COVID, delivery platforms, and the right to use a bathroom and access of drinking water. But this law is not enacted anymore because it was restricted to the COVID pandemic. So as the COVID is not here anymore, the law is not mandatory anymore. And to finish my presentation, I'd like to talk about the executive branch. What the executive branch has been doing in Brazil right now. The president-elect, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, has in his campaign declared he's committed to decent work. So he approved a decree 111-513, to create a group work. And this group work is a tripartite group, which is analyzing the possible bills to regulate this issue. So right now in Brazil, we are betting that this social dialogue through the executive branch by this decree, this group of work, will stop precarization of the work in Brazil and will find a solution. Meanwhile, we have initiatives in Brazil of cooperativism too, to try to avoid this issue of one solution fits it all. Because we don't have to discuss if it is an employee independent contractors. The work has to find the best options for them to render their services. And some may like cooperativism, some may like independent contractor model, but some may like to be an employee. So right now in Brazil, we are betting that the social dialogue between this tripartite group will find solutions, talking to unions and talk to the government representatives to really find a way to overpass this difficult situation we have right now in Brazil. Thanks very much for your attention. I'm free to open to questions for you. Thank you.